Chapter 13. The Clockwork Soul's Reckoning. The bird's head separated. It reattached with a soft click. Audie Tsao watched, breath caught. Florene Wu's fingers moved like water. No hesitation, no pause. She adjusted a tiny spring. Her knuckles were stained with oil. Her robe sleeves were frayed at the elbows. The workshop smelled of metal and old wood. Dust motes danced in the single shaft of moonlight. A forgotten clock ticked steadily on the shelf. Audie's voice was a whisper. "Florene, you must return." She didn't look up. Her eyes were fixed on the bird's delicate neck joint. "Jade Peak has no need for gears." Her voice was calm. Too calm. Like stone in a river. "Your cultivation," Audie began, "is not my path." She snapped a tiny gear into place. The bird's eye glowed faintly blue. Audie's jaw tightened. He'd traveled 3 days through rain. His boots were soaked through. His heart was raw. "Bobbye Wan is broken without you." He saw the flicker in her eyes, just for a second. "Bobbye Wan is a leader." Florene's voice echoed strangely, not from her lips. A small soundbox sat on the bench. Its carved lid was open. The voice came from within. "My child," the soundbox said, "I abandoned cultivation for the art of gears." Audie froze. The words were Florene's, but the tone, it was the voice of a woman who'd wept. The soundbox played on. "This is not rebellion. It is loss." The words hung in the air, thick as smoke. Audie's hands clenched into fists. He'd begged. He'd pleaded. He'd offered the Jade Peak's highest seat. Florene finally turned. Her eyes were dry. Her face was a mask. "Go home, Audie." She turned back to her work. "Tell her I am well." The bird's wings began to move. Slowly, precisely. Audie left without another word. The rain soaked his hair. It felt like the rain of 1,000 tears. Bobbye Wan found the soundbox in her chamber. It sat beside her pillow. Her fingers closed around it. Hard. The message played again. "This is not rebellion. It is loss." Her breath hitched, then stopped. She saw Florene Wu's hands. Not on a sword hilt, but on a tiny screwdriver. Not in the Jade Peak's meditation hall, but in this dusty workshop. Her fury melted, like snow in the sun. She saw the way Florene had looked at her. Not defiance, not anger. Just absence. A deep, quiet absence, like a room after a loved one has left. Bobbye sank onto her bed. The soundbox fell from her hand. It hit the floor with a soft thud. No tears fell, but her chest felt hollow, like a wound that would never close. She remembered the day Florene left. Not with a shout, not with a fight. Just a quiet note on the shrine. "I have chosen another path." She thought it was rebellion. She'd been so wrong. The workshop was dark at midnight. Bobbye Wan stood outside the door. Her hand hovered over the wood. She didn't knock. She watched through the window. Florene Wu worked by candlelight. Her face was illuminated in the flickering glow. Her brow was furrowed. She was building something new. A small, intricate device. Gears spun like captured stars. Bobbie's throat tightened. She'd never seen her look so alive. She wanted to speak, to say, "I understand," to say, "I'm sorry." But the silence between them was a wall, thick as stone, unbreakable. Florene turned. Her eyes met Bobbie's through the glass. Time stopped. Florene didn't move, didn't speak, just stared. Bobbie held her breath. The candlelight made Florene's eyes look like liquid amber. Then Florene turned away, back to her work. Her shoulders were stiff. Bobbie slipped into the shadows. She didn't go back to the inn. She sat on the cold stone steps. The wind carried the scent of rain and the faint, sweet smell of oil from the workshop. She felt the distance between them. Not just physical, deeper, more profound. Florene Wu's latest creation sat on the bench. A complex clockwork dragon. Its wings were half assembled. She adjusted a final gear. Her hand trembled slightly. The dragon shuddered. Then, a sharp clack. A tiny gear slipped. It rolled across the bench, falling toward the edge. Florene lunged. Too late. The gear hit the floor. It bounced, then rolled under the workbench. She bent down. Her fingers reached under. The wood was rough under her nails. A sound came from the shadows. A soft thud. Bobbye Wan stood there. Her hand was outstretched. The gear sat in her palm. It glowed faintly. Florene froze. Her hand was still under the bench. Her breath was shallow. "Don't." The word was barely audible. Bobbye didn't move. The gear pulsed softly. A deep, warm light, like captured fireflies. Florene's eyes widened. She'd never seen it glow before. She pulled her hand back. Her voice was tight. "Leave it." Bobbye didn't speak. She stepped forward. Her fingers brushed the gear. It flared brighter. A pulse of light. A sound like distant chimes. Florene jerked back. Her hand shot out. She grabbed Bobbye's wrist. Hard. Bobbye didn't resist. Her eyes were fixed on the gear. "On the light? Why does it glow?" Bobbye's voice was low. "Raw. Dot you." Florene's grip loosened. Her hand dropped. "Because it's not a gear." She turned away. Her shoulders were tense. Her voice was quiet. "It's a key." Bobbye's breath caught. "A key to what?" Florene stepped back. Her hand went to the small pouch at her waist. She pulled out a tiny worn object. A piece of jade. It was smooth. Familiar. Bobbye recognized it. It was the one Florene had always carried. The one she'd worn around her neck. Florene held it up. The jade glowed faintly too, in time with the gear. Bobbye's mind raced. Jade Peak, the old shrine, the forbidden texts. Florene's voice cut through the silence. "It's not a key to the workshop." She looked at Bobbye. Her eyes were wet. "It's a key to me." Bobbye's heart hammered. She saw the truth now. The real reason. Not rebellion. Not loss. It was fear. Florene had left because she was afraid. Afraid of what the Jade Peak would do. Afraid of what Bobbye would do. She'd chosen gears over swords, not to defy, but to survive. The gear in Bobbye's palm flared again. Brighter. The light filled the room. It cast long, dancing shadows. Florene turned away. Her hand trembled as she reached for the jade. "I am not your disciple anymore." Her voice was broken. "I am not your sister." She stepped toward the door. Her hand closed around the handle. Bobbye stepped forward. Her voice was a whisper. "Then who are you?" Florene paused. She didn't turn. The light from the gear and the jade pulsed together, like two hearts beating as one. The door creaked open. The wind rushed in, carrying the scent of rain and the sound of distant thunder. Florene stepped through. She didn't look back. Bobbye stood alone. The gear in her hand grew warm, then cold, then still. The glow faded, leaving only the faintest trace of light on the metal. She looked down. The gear was ordinary again, just a tiny piece of metal. But she knew. She knew it wasn't. She felt the weight of it. The weight of Florene's choice. The weight of her own silence. Outside, the rain began to fall. Hard, like tears. Bobbye closed her fingers around the gear. It fit perfectly, like it had always been there. She didn't know where Florene had gone. But she knew one thing. The key wasn't for a door. It was for a heart. And Florene had locked it away. The rain washed the workshop clean, but nothing could wash away the silence. The gear in Bobbye's hand was cold, but the memory of its light was warm. She looked up. The sky was dark, but for a moment she saw 2 points of light, one in the sky, one in her palm. And she knew. She had to find Florene, no matter what. The rain fell harder. The workshop was empty. Just the ticking of the forgotten clock, and the cold weight of the gear. Bobbye turned. She walked into the rain, her fingers still closed around the key. The path ahead was dark, but for the first time she saw a light. It pulsed softly, in her hand, in her heart. She didn't know where it led, but she knew one thing. She would follow it, no matter how far. Thank you for being here. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe and turn on the bell for updates. More beautiful stories are coming soon on YouTube channel Many Stories with You.